So again, typical vacuum packaged, never opened before miner. I can safely say this is probably the most expensive miner I've ever got. So can't wait to get this running. And here it is in all its beauty. The Iceriver KS3M 6 terahash $10,000 Haspa miner. It's a money printing machine and the most expensive miner I've ever bought. But with the current profitability, I think this is one of the best machines that is well balanced buck per the terahash. So it is similar to the KS1 but different. Larger power supply, different power jack. Yeah, that's about it. Everything else is pretty standard. Another thing worth noting is the different power supply. Even though it's a 3000 watt miner, unlike the Bitme machines, it only comes with one power jack and the cable is not included. So make sure you got one of these cables. This one came from my supplier. He was nice enough to give me one. Exactly what we did to our KS1. We're gonna download third-party firmware that has a lot more benefits to it. So we're now gonna download the alt. Our KS0 seems to be working normally. I'm not sure, but we're just gonna download the normal KS3M update instead of the alt. So yeah, let's update this. This is a BGS file. It's an overlay update on the original firmware. So how these work is a little mystic, but I seem to have a good understanding. It basically is updating a bunch of files and not flushing the whole miner. So let's reboot this miner, and I think the IP would change because I gave it a static IP. But while this happens is basically goes into a temp directory and packages itself, and in this case it mostly touches the web server files and the HTML files and the JavaScript.
it doesn't change the bootloader or the other system files or binaries. So that's how these updates usually work. They're more or less partial updates. The secret here is making being able to pack them and unpack them inside them with a private key, or in this case, it's a fake private key. I guess it's announced that sorry, it's a salt that you're not that's supposed to be random, but it isn't. So I think that's how the original developers figure out how to pack and unpack those files. Anyhow, let's see if this miner actually rebooted, and it should be at another IP. Yes. So if we did things correctly, we should see yes. We should see a disclaimer, and as we can see the PB Farmer firmware running here. We're gonna yes. So yeah, much nicer, much better. More statuses. We have the voltages and the clocks and the chip temps on the max ones, the fans. Let's see, mining setting. Okay, so we only have clock, so we can underclock this. We don't have the voltage setting. Um, and we can have a target temperature of fixed speed. And what PB Miner explained about the target temperature in the KS3M is that temperature readouts are every 2 minutes, which is not a great resolution. And if you do target temperature, chances are you may overheat your miner within those 2 minutes because every 2 minutes the fans would be adjusted, but in that time frame, your miner may overheat, especially on startup and stuff like that. So he actually recommends we leave it at ASIC controlled. But as we saw, that always spins the fans to max, and that may be just because the chip temperature goes all the way up to 84, which is, you know, in the red zone, but not uncommon. I think until 85, you're in the safe zone. Typically, you want to keep your temperatures at, 68, 75 Celsius. But if you have a couple of chips going above that, then the fans are trying to do that. So we're gonna have to wait here to get some stats. I'll be back once we're up to about, 10, 12 minute mark and see how this goes. But we got a lot more information here. More than 15 minutes on PB Farmers firmware. One thing that I always keep forgetting, and I saw the same with the KS0 Pro with this firmware, is that he overwrites your default pull and wallet with his. So first time this starts around, unless you update your pull and wallet, you're gonna mine for him a little bit. So yeah, that's fine because he provided this beautiful firmware and 15 minutes of mining to his account isn't a big deal. But please don't forget to change his default address to your own because otherwise you're not making any profits. Now, I think the results with this firmware are pretty similar. We see an average 5 minute hash rate of 6.4, 6.1. It's going down, but it's pretty steady. It's above 6. The board temperature are fine. We don't see any issues with that. The chip temperatures, however, are pretty high. And we can see board 3 has a max temperature of 84. And the good thing about this is you can see individual board temperatures, individual chip temperatures on this view. So that's pretty nifty. Be warned, they come with a bit of a delay. So they're like, I don't know, 2 or 5 minutes late compared to what I saw on Iceriver monitor for Windows. So they do match, but they were at first it didn't match, and I thought, something's wrong. The ones here were really lower, but after some time they matched. It just takes this information, I guess, longer to update. So it's a nice little addition. So you can see individual chip temperatures, I think you can see additional individual chip voltages, which is pretty much what the Iceriver monitor gives you. But right now you see this kind of from the web UI. You don't need to install any third-party software. So the clocks are at 1150 megahertz, and this is the concerning bit. The max chip temperature is 84. All the chips are 84, some are at 65, but if one is at 84, that's on the higher, and then therefore our fans are going crazy. Our fans are keeping the PWM, pulse width modulation, which is basically the intensity, at almost 100, which is 100% basically, or 96, and that's noisy fans. So we might need to repaste this miner at some point to make sure it has better cooling. For the time being, I'm actually thinking of just maybe underclocking it, so we'll get around excuse me, 6 terahash, or just below 6 terahash, and try to get these temperatures a little bit cooler, so we don't need so much fan speed. I'm gonna do a check on the power on the wall and maybe try to get to around 3000 watts versus 3.3, and we'll see if that's gonna work with underclocking this by 50 or 100 megahertz, and 50 megahertz is 4%, so we're gonna have 4% less hash rate, maybe not, I'm not sure, and we're gonna have to see what that does to our power usage and our temperature. So that's the next experiment I'm doing. I really wanted to get a 30-minute reading here before I do these changes. Set this up. Here's my latest experiment. What we did is I decreased the clock offset by 90 megahertz, which is 80%. So right now it's 1150, that is. And as you can see here, the board temperatures dropped. So a couple of things to notice. So at first, when the minus starts, it goes to the factory temperatures, and after about 5 minutes, it actually obeys the custom clocks. So here's the factory start, and then goes down the custom clocks. And we can see the temperatures also correspond really nicely to this, as well as even the board temperature. So the good news is that currently, after about 15 minutes, more like 10, our temperatures, max temperatures, are in the 70s range, which is fairly nice. The intake and the exhaust temperatures are also very nice. Our clocks are 1060, and the voltage dropped also a little bit. So overall, a nice addition. Now, it's early to say, but the 5-minute hash rate shows 5.94 there hash, which is, not a biggie if we're gonna keep this miner cool for now. I do notice that the fans started dropping a little bit, 92 PW, 92%. So hopefully they'll drop a little bit more, below 60 or below 70. That's wishful thinking, simply because that's a lot of drop. But I need them to quiet down. Good news is that we're solo mining and we've hit a block within 13 minutes of mining, so looking forward to hitting a lot of blocks with this hash rate and this miner. I'll do a follow-up episode on repasting this miner, making it cooler, and potentially other mods. But for now, let's see how the earnings are on solo with 6 terahash and my other two miners, which is a KS1 overclocked to 1.5 terahash, and a KS0 Pro overclocked to 230 giga on stock power supply, 115 watts. So I'll revisit these Casper miners soon and let you know how the profits go. Please subscribe and like my channel so I can continue making more videos if they are indeed interesting to watch. Thank you.